Lesson 1. The manipulation behind niceness. Sit down. Let's tear the mask off something most never question: niceness. You were told to be nice, to smile, to agree, to make others comfortable. You were told that nice people are good people. But here's the brutal truth. Niceness is often the most sophisticated form of manipulation. Most people aren't nice because they are pure. They are nice because they are afraid. Afraid to be disliked. Afraid to be seen as harsh. Afraid to lose favor, approval, or love. Niceness is often the armor of the insecure, a disguise that says, "Please don't reject me. Please don't confront me. Please see me as good." That is not virtue. That is emotional bribery. You are trading authenticity for approval. Let's go deeper. Niceness is not honesty. It is performance. It's the art of using softness to influence others, not through strength, but through guilt and image. Think of it this way. A truly kind person gives without needing to be seen, but a nice person gives to be seen giving. One comes from strength, the other comes from fear. Niceness says, if I make you comfortable, you'll give me what I want: love, validation, loyalty. It's a trade. It's a tactic. It's quiet control disguised as compassion. And here's the danger. When your niceness becomes your strategy for survival, you forget who you are without it. You stop speaking truth. You start molding yourself to every situation. You become shapeless, a mirror of what others want you to be. Sun Tzu warned about this indirectly when he said, "All warfare is based on deception." But the clever strategist knows deception must serve victory, not weakness. If your niceness is used to avoid battle, you're deceiving yourself, not the enemy. You're using charm as a shield for your cowardice. Niceness, when rooted in fear, is not strategy. It's surrender in disguise. Now let's bring in Machiavelli. In The Prince, he observed human nature with brutal clarity. He knew that people judge not by your intentions, but by your results. They will use your goodness if it benefits them, and turn on you when it doesn't. So he wrote, "A prince who is always trying to be good will come to ruin among so many who are not good." Understand this. Niceness is a currency that only works in a world where everyone plays fair. But the world doesn't. If your niceness is your only weapon, you are disarmed in a room full of hunters. There's a darker layer still. Niceness doesn't just manipulate others. It manipulates you. When you convince yourself you're being good by being agreeable, you avoid guilt. You build a false moral image to escape responsibility. You can say, "At least I was nice," instead of asking, "Was I honest? Was I effective?" Niceness becomes your excuse for not having courage. And people will sense it. The softness, the hesitancy, the need for approval. And they will start using you like a tool. You'll think you're gaining friends, but you're really gaining masters. So here is your first challenge. Spend the next 24 hours being truthful instead of nice. Say what you mean, refuse what you don't want. Notice how it feels. The discomfort, the shaking inside, the guilt trying to pull you back. That discomfort is your dependency dying. That guilt is your conditioning breaking. You are beginning to separate truth from performance. Lesson 2. The power play of niceness. Listen carefully. What most call niceness is not weakness, it's a game. A calculated move on the chessboard of human interaction. And if you don't see how the game is played, you'll become a pawn in someone else's hand. Let's start with the truth.
Niceness is currency. People spend it, save it, and trade it to gain what they want. Control, access, safety, power, or reputation. Behind every "I'm just being nice" lies a motive, some conscious, some buried deep. Let's dissect it. There are 3 types of niceness you must recognize in others and in yourself. 1. The defensive nice. This is the person who fears rejection. They use politeness like armor, agreeing, smiling, complimenting, not because they want to, but because confrontation terrifies them. They avoid all conflict, hoping that peace will buy them safety. But avoidance is never peace. It's quiet surrender. 2. The manipulative nice. This one is dangerous. They weaponize charm. They use warmth, compliments, and generosity to put you off guard, so they can move freely through your defenses. They understand that being liked is a faster path to control than being feared. They know humans crave approval, so they feed you what you hunger for until your guard drops. By the time you see the trap, it's already closed. 3. The strategic nice. This is what a true strategist learns to master. Strategic niceness is not fear or deception. It's timing. It's knowing when to yield so you can later advance. It's a calm smile before a precise strike. It's using harmony to conceal preparation. This kind of niceness is controlled, never reactive, never submissive. Now understand something vital. In the modern world, people rarely dominate through force. They dominate through niceness. The corporate world runs on polished smiles. Social media thrives on fake positivity. Relationships twist around guilt, subtle favors. "After all I've done for you." That's not kindness, that's leverage. Niceness creates debt. And when someone makes you feel like you owe them for their goodness, they've already won. They own a piece of your conscience. So a strategist must learn to read tone the way a general reads the battlefield. Observe how people use goodness. Do they give freely, or do they give to control? Do they smile to connect, or to conceal their intent? Once you start observing, you'll see manipulation everywhere. Not because everyone is evil, but because everyone is strategic without knowing it. It's instinctive. Humans crave power over uncertainty, and niceness is one of the easiest ways to gain it. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote that a ruler must learn to appear merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, religious, but be ready to act against those virtues when necessary. In other words, don't become the mask, use the mask. Niceness is a tool, not a cage. A strategist wears it when it serves a purpose and removes it when it becomes a chain. That's power. That's freedom. But here's the twist. Once you stop being fooled by niceness, you'll realize it's not just others who use it. You do too. Every time you hold back truth to avoid conflict, every time you praise what you don't respect to keep peace, every time you hide your discontent behind a smile, that's you manipulating yourself into weakness. You can't master people until you master your own psychology. So watch yourself this week. Observe every nice act you perform. Ask, why am I doing this? To help? To connect? To control? To avoid? That question will change you. It will strip you bare of illusions, and what's left is raw awareness. Lesson 3. The enslavement of the nice. Listen, there is a quiet prison that doesn't use walls or chains. It uses smiles, approval, and the fear of being disliked. It's called the enslavement of niceness, and most men live their whole lives behind its invisible bars, never daring to offend, never daring to stand alone. The world trains you from birth to be nice, to say yes when you mean no, to smile even when something inside you is dying, to nod politely while people waste your time, cross your boundaries, and drain your energy. They call this being good, but in truth, it's obedience training. A man who needs to be liked will never lead. He will always kneel to the loudest voice, the strongest guilt, or the most emotional plea. He becomes predictable, and predictability is the death of power. Let's strip this down. Niceness becomes enslavement when it crosses from choice to compulsion. When you no longer choose to be kind, you must be kind, even to those who disrespect you. When your self-worth depends on how others feel about you. When you'd rather betray yourself than make someone else uncomfortable. That's not morality, that's fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of isolation. Fear of being labeled selfish, arrogant, or cold. So you play the safe role, the agreeable one, the helpful one, the one everyone likes. But every act of false agreement, every time you silence your truth for peace, you chip away at your own spine. You become soft. And softness doesn't mean kindness, it means surrender. Sun Tzu said, "He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not, will be victorious." The enslaved, nice man has no patience, no prudence, no boundaries. He cannot lie in wait because he must please in every moment. He reveals himself too early, exposes his intent too often, and apologizes for his strength before he even uses it. He fights to be seen as good instead of being effective. That's why so many intelligent young men fail. Not because they lack talent, but because they cannot bear to be misunderstood. They crave love before respect, peace before strength, approval before truth. And in doing so, they make themselves slaves to every opinion that passes by. Let me tell you a story from Musashi, the undefeated samurai. He wrote, "The way is in training." And part of that training was detachment, the ability to let go of reputation, comfort, and even mercy when the moment demanded clarity. Musashi killed his first opponent at 13, not because he wanted to, but because he had to. If he hesitated, if he tried to be liked, he would have been the one who fell. That's the nature of life. You hesitate, life strikes. In modern times, your duels are not with swords, but with decisions. Every day you must choose, betray your truth or defend it. And every time you betray it for comfort, you dull the blade of your will. Soon, you can't even feel when someone crosses you because you've normalized surrender. Understand this law. Those who fear to offend will always be ruled by those who do not. The manipulative, the assertive, the cunning, they are not bound by your politeness. While you're explaining yourself, they're taking ground. While you're apologizing, they're positioning. While you're hoping to be liked, they're already in control. A strategist must learn to endure this like, to be called harsh, arrogant, cold, and remain unmoved. To prefer truth over comfort, because comfort is the cradle of slaves. You must rewire yourself. Replace the craving for approval with the craving for clarity. Replace the desire to please with the desire to understand. Replace guilt with responsibility, because guilt is emotional blackmail, a chain disguised as conscience. Be kind, but never submissive. Be compassionate, but never controlled. Your kindness must be a weapon, not a leash around your own neck. Here's your exercise, your training for this lesson. For 7 days, practice saying no without explaining yourself. If someone asks for your time and you don't want to give it, say no. If you disagree, speak it calmly, without anger. You're not being cruel, you're freeing yourself. Every no strengthens your spine. Every act of truth frees your mind. The goal is not to become ruthless, it's to become real. Only the real can lead, build, and conquer.
Lesson 4. The system that rewards your obedience. The world doesn't want strong men. It wants manageable ones. Polite, predictable, easily guilted, endlessly agreeable. The kind of man who never questions, never challenges, and never says no. You were trained to be this way long before you had a choice. From childhood, they told you, be nice, don't talk back, don't be difficult, just do what's right. But right according to who? You see, what they call right is often what keeps the system running smoothly. And by system, I don't mean some conspiracy. I mean the machinery of social control. Families, schools, workplaces, governments, even friendships, they all function best when you're compliant. The obedient man is easy to guide, easy to guilt, and easy to replace. The defiant one? He must be broken, labeled, or exiled. So you learned early if you smile, obey, and play nice, you're rewarded. You get praised. You're told you're mature, well-behaved, a good boy. But what is a good boy to the system? A boy who doesn't question authority. A boy who confuses approval with virtue. A boy who will work for years in silence, waiting for permission to live. That's not morality, that's domestication. They tamed lions into house cats. They tamed warriors into workers. And they used niceness as the leash. The nice man is dependable, but never dangerous. He'll never start a revolution, never challenge his superiors, never walk away from a toxic job, relationship, or system. He'll suffer quietly, but he'll smile while doing it. He'll call his passivity patience, his cowardice peace, and his silence maturity. That's how the world keeps him asleep. And here's the sick brilliance of it. When the nice man finally breaks, when he feels used and empty, they'll tell him it's his fault. They'll say, "You're too sensitive. You just need to give more. Don't be selfish." They will shame him for even feeling his own exhaustion, because to the system, a self-aware man is dangerous. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote that men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. He was talking about rulers, but the principle applies everywhere. The system deceives you by rewarding your compliance just enough to keep you quiet. It gives you validation, comfort, and distraction, but never power. It lets you feel good, never strong. It lets you feel moral, never free. And every act of false niceness, every time you silence your own truth, the system wins again, because you are policing yourself. You no longer need chains when your own guilt does the job. Look at the world around you. Social media thrives on niceness, not truth. Workplaces promote the agreeable, not the brave. Schools reward memorization, not questioning. And religion, in many forms, teaches submission over understanding. You were trained not to think, but to conform. Not to speak truth,
but to maintain peace. Not to pursue power, but to feel morally safe. That's why you see men today with no fire left. They've learned to smile while they crumble. They mistake their passivity for goodness and their exhaustion for humility. But inside, they know. Something feels wrong. There's a quiet voice whispering, "You were meant for more than this." That's your spirit begging to be unchained. Now here's the paradox. To break this conditioning, you must become dangerous again. Not violent, but capable. Capable of saying no. Capable of walking away. Capable of confrontation. Capable of being disliked. Because when you no longer need approval, the system loses control over you. That's why real freedom feels lonely at first. You're no longer fueled by the rewards of compliance. You're fueled by the strength of your own principles. This week's training. Observe every moment you act out of fear of disapproval. Every time you hold back truth, every time you smile falsely, every time you agree to avoid tension, write it down. Notice the pattern. You'll realize you've built a life around avoidance. And once you see it, you can break it. Awareness is rebellion. Rebellion is birth. Birth is pain. But pain is freedom. The first kind that doesn't need permission.
Lesson 5. The death of the good boy and the birth of the strategist. This is the breaking point. Every man who seeks power, freedom, and clarity must walk through this fire, the death of the good boy. The good boy is the version of you that was trained to survive, not to live. He obeys not because he believes, but because he fears. He tries to be liked, to be accepted, to be approved of. He wants peace at any cost, even if the cost is himself. You know him. You've been him. The good boy apologizes when he hasn't done wrong. He says yes while his soul screams no. He lowers his voice when he should be speaking truth. He carries guilt like it's virtue and confuses comfort with love. But the truth is, he is the reason you've been at war with yourself. He was necessary once. He helped you survive the expectations of family, teachers, society. But now he is the chain around your neck. He keeps you humble when you need to be bold. He keeps you quiet when you need to lead. He keeps you waiting when you should be building. The good boy is the loyal servant of the system, but the strategist, the man you are becoming, is loyal to truth. He knows the world is not kind to those who speak truth. He knows that power attracts enemies and authenticity offends the comfortable. But he no longer seeks comfort, he seeks clarity. To become a strategist is to outgrow the emotional games of the world. You no longer do things for validation. You act because it is necessary. You speak because it is true. You move because it is strategic. You don't fight every battle, only the ones that shape destiny. You don't give your energy to fools, only to purpose. You don't explain yourself to the blind. You build until they see. Sun Tzu said, "To know yourself is to be invincible." And this is the core of transformation. To kill the good boy is to stop living for others' perception and start living by inner law. That law is your discipline, your clarity, your principle. From now on, you do not ask, "Will they like me?" You ask, "Does this move strengthen me?" That is your compass. That is your path. Now let's take this deeper. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must learn how not to be good when goodness leads to ruin. He didn't mean to become cruel. He meant to become free from the illusion of goodness. He meant this: Do not mistake mercy for weakness. Do not mistake silence for morality. Do not mistake avoidance for peace. You are not here to please. You are here to build. You will have to make decisions others won't understand. You will be called harsh, selfish, cold, but you will see further than they can. You will not explain the path of lions to sheep. That's the price of awakening. The good boy dies when you stop negotiating with fear, when you stop performing, when you realize that you were never meant to be tamed, you were meant to govern yourself. You are the ruler of your mind. You decide when to speak, when to act, when to rest, when to strike. You are no longer a piece on the board. You are the player. That's what the strategist is. He is not at war with others. He is at war with ignorance, within and without. He doesn't seek power for ego, but for order. He doesn't seek respect from others, but from himself. Now I will give you your initiation, the final exercise in this cycle. For the next 7 days, act without seeking approval once. If a choice must be made, make it from principle, not pressure. When guilt rises, breathe and observe it. Do not obey it. When fear whispers, "What will they think?" answer, "I no longer care." Write this law down and carry it with you. I do not exist to please. I exist to build. I do not seek peace through submission. I create peace through strength. I will speak truth, act with precision, and stand alone if I must. Every time you feel the good boy rising again, that urge to apologize, to shrink, to explain, recite these words. This is not poetry, it is programming. You are rewriting the code of your mind. And when you do, you will notice something terrifying and beautiful. People will pull away. Some will call you arrogant. Others will call you distant. But deep down, they will feel something they can't name. Respect. Because you've become something rare, a man who doesn't need permission to exist. That's what the world terrifies most. Not cruelty, not chaos, but a man who can stand still in truth while others bend for approval. You've killed the good boy, and in his place stands the strategist.